What's up, scholars? Welcome back to another video. Oh my gosh. Today we're going to be talking about 1116 and 1117 kind of just combined into two because I didn't get to do 1116 2 weeks ago because of some technical issues, and then I had some family issues coming up with some personal family matters, and it's been a rough couple weeks, but that's okay. We're back. So these two chapters have just been incredible, and I love 1116. That it gives so much information, but a lot of questions alongside of it that people can kind of like guess along with and make really interesting theories out of. The biggest one that I saw for 1116 was that picture of the woman Emu was looking up at. And a lot of people were theorizing that that was Lily, Nefertari D. Lily, which, I mean, she looks pretty similar to Vivi. And a lot of people had guessed that maybe that woman, her picture had been seen before. It could be the same picture that Sanji had found when they had dove at the beginning of the Skypiea saga, when they had dove down before they reached Jaya and were rummaging through that shipwreck, and he found that picture of that woman. Could be the same type of thing because of the whole sunken world theory, plus its connection and correlation to the sky and all of that. So that there's some pretty interesting theories that have come up from it, and I kind of feel like I'm leaning in that direction as well. That I think that at least the picture might be Lily, that we might have seen our first glimpse of Lily, but also begs the question of why does Emu have that portrait? Is Lily part of Emu's former life, if we're going under the assumption that Emu is immortal and Lily kind of rebelled against, the other 20, or I guess 19 at that point, rebelled against them, and maybe Emu was part of that original 20 and feels scorned by Lily for Lily's betrayal. Or a more darker theory is Emu is Lily, and that portrait is who Emu used to be. Like, over the centuries, Emu has just been warped and just turned into this really maniacal, evil type of person that completely lost what Lily originally set out to do, and that portrait is like that reminder of the past, and a little bit of like not self-reflection, but just like kind of staring into a mirror of what used to be. And that's why perhaps hearing that history being brought up is so aggravating to Emu as well, not just because it's forbidden, but it's also because maybe Emu doesn't want that part of history brought up because Emu's worked so hard to bury it and separate from who they used to be, Lily. I don't know, just a theory, could be part of it, not sure. But yes, Vegapunk talks about how a part of the flame has been stolen, and York did not know how Vegapunk had figured out that she had taken a piece of the Mother Flame, which is really interesting because like they still have a shared brain, shared connection, even though she thought she turned that part off. Vegapunk knew that something had been taken. Vegapunk's energy source that was supposed to be used for good has ended up being used for evil, and it just makes me think, if a small portion of the Mother Flame is what caused Lulusia to happen, is what rained down on Lulusia and destroyed that entire place, if that was just a small portion of the Mother Flame that they had, what would the entire source do? Like, if one small part can obliterate an island, what can the entirety of the Mother Flame do to the world? That is kind of frightening to think about. Taking a break from Vegapunk's revelations in these chapters, I love Stussy's development in this, and her conversation with Edison about, her betrayal and everything, and her wanting to free Kaku, and then Kaku's look whenever he's hearing her say these things. I love it so much. I love how human Stussy is and just her development throughout this arc. And I love that Kaku has been able to see it. Kaku is a little more soft-hearted than Lucci or some of the other members of Cipher Pole. And maybe, just maybe, he won't hurt Stussy after this. Like, she's already said that she'll keep him away from the Straw Hats, but she wants to release him to make sure he gets off safely because he is still her friend. So I want to see where that goes. I love Stussy's development and her friendship with Cipher Pole, but specifically with Kaku right now because that's the one she's with. Vegapunk did reveal that Leloucia was destroyed by the Mother Flame, which is like something to trigger an ancient weapon, essentially. And as he's revealing it, everybody's like, well, I haven't heard about this. Go check on this. Go check on Leloucia. So that is being acknowledged, and that cover-up is just unfurling before the world government's eyes. And Vegapunk, at this point, it seems like he's really flustered because he doesn't have all the answers. He doesn't know Joy Boy's intentions or why he was doing all these things, you know, with the ancient weapons, why he had gathered them all. He didn't know Joy Boy's intent or anything, but he reveals that there are people who do know, and it's Roger's group. It is Goldie Roger, the Pirate King's crew, that knows all the answers, and they have not told anyone. And the stark contrast between how Vegapunk views it and then we see how Rayleigh views it is so different. It just leaves me stumped on what the truth is, because Vegapunk, with the bits and pieces he's gathered, doesn't look like a very promising or welcoming future or welcoming past either. So he's like, why would they keep it hidden? Why would they not say anything? How could they keep this to themselves and not say anything about the truth of what happened back then? Why are they keeping silent about it? And he's really almost anguished over it. And then we get Rayleigh, who is drinking as he's hearing all this. And he's like, oh, you're telling them too much, Vegapunk. Let the young ones have their fun. Because he's like, the old should keep their secrets and let the youngins figure it out themselves. Right, Roger. Rayleigh. Honey. At what point does keeping the secret just become not fun for anybody anymore? Because I'm dying to know. And it gives up a whole nother aspect of what the truth is, because we know when Roger got to Laugh Tale, they laughed. He laughed upon seeing what was there. He laughed upon seeing the truth. He laughed. So it begs the question, because we have all this dark history around everything and these pieces that point to something very negative, and yet the truth of it made Roger laugh, made all of them laugh, and the crew just decided to keep the secret and be like, let the world figure it out, let the young ones figure it out, it'll be okay. That it doesn't compute. There's some chunk missing that I don't know what it is, because the stark differences between the tidbits that Vegapunk has from reading the poneglyphs to the truth that Roger has knowing all of it is just so blatantly different that it leaves me in a bind as to what to think about what it is. I don't know. It's crazy. But then we get to chapter 117. And y'all already know, I'm so mad. How many times are we gonna get blue-balled by Oda regarding the Will of D? Y'all, we were so close. We were so stinking close to knowing the truth. And then, nope, we're just gonna not say any of it. We're gonna have the broadcast be cut off and none of the rest of the message gets shown or played. I knew this was gonna happen. And I'm still so upset over it. Because it's like, we were getting such good information and it was on a roll. We were on the roll, but then in 116 they figured out that the transponder snail was inside the Iron Giant guy. So I knew that they were going to be going after him, but I didn't think one little push to knock him over was going to cut off the entire thing. Like just one little push, they just knocked him over and then signal's done. Huh? And the title of chapter 117 being A, and then that is what the message cut off with was A blank, and we are missing the blank. I am upset. I'm upset. I mean, yes, 1117 was a fantastic chapter. It was really good up until that very last moment, and then it's just, I mean, it's still good, but Oda, you can't keep getting away with this. Just tell us. But question is, I mean, I guess we don't know yet, but is this a temporary stop in the message because maybe just like the signal got distorted because the Iron Giant was pushed down, or was this enough to stop it permanently? Because if it was just like a instant of, oh well, there's too much movement, so it cut the message off, the signal stopped, it got a little wonky, but then it'll fix itself in a little bit. Maybe it has to be fully destroyed to go off, so maybe it'll come back on. But if it comes back on, is it going to be skipped over the part about the Will of Deed? That would be my guess. But would we hear more of the message until the elders actually destroy the Iron Giant? Or was this just like he was knocked over, the signal stopped, that's it, message is over, we don't get to hear anything else? I'm not sure yet. I'm really hoping it's the former, so at least we hear a little bit more, even though I know we're not going to hear about the Will of Deed, because I have a feeling that's going to be saved now, because we didn't get it here. That's going to be saved for a later time. But yes, 117 talks about, you know, the world underneath the sea, pretty much, and how there could be treasure buried over 200 meters under the water, and how there could be civilization, or a lost civilization down there. And we actually finally get Kobe for the first time in a long time this chapter, and he's been listening in and he's trying to process it all. But then they're saying this brings us to a pretty dangerous conclusion, don't you think? And they're like, yeah, well, that's where we're gonna have to step in and we're gonna have to show up, which is pretty interesting, because it's like, okay, they were already really seriously injured, so where are they gonna go from here? Like, what part are they gonna play in the upcoming, like, battle, I guess you could say? Because Vegapunk doesn't know what was left behind, he doesn't say what he speculates was left behind, and we get the barrier coming down to let these Straw Hats go out. So they've gone basically as far as they could on the clouds, and now they have to figure out a way to get over all of the ships down below in the Sunny so that they can escape. And Jinbei and Zoro are almost to the ship finally, and they actually finally reach the ship. But Horse Guy is running in front of him, because while the other four elders turned their attention to the Iron Giant, he's the sole one who went to the Sunny. And him and Zoro clash swords, and they both have Kitetsu blades. And it seems to cause some sort of reaction, and both of them recognize it immediately when they clash blades, and it creates this like almost like explosion type whenever they hit. So that is really interesting. That will make for an interesting matchup and a really cool battle if Zoro has to fight, at least to hold him off for the time being. But also kind of worrying, because Zoro told them to go ahead and launch the ship, that he and Jinbei would just jump down to catch up with them. But how exactly is he gonna do that if the Elder is still here? I don't know if Zoro will be able to defeat the Elder at this point. I don't know, because we've seen this Horse Guy, like, he's so incredibly strong and he's quick, and the way he can transform and move is just mythical. So, you know, that matchup, we know Zoro is super strong and he's a great swordsman and he's very quick on his feet and he's got a great battle IQ, but I don't, like, and the sword thing is so similar, that's really cool, but I don't know how well of a matchup that is. Like, if Zoro is on the level of the Elder, or if him holding him off is just going to take everything he has and he's barely going to make it out alive. But we have that situation up above, and down below Bonnie is trying to get everybody to their ship, to the Elbaf ship, and Sanji was just now up and fine, even though we haven't seen him after he got like chomped and thrown, and now he's just up. I mean, I'm happy he's fine. That's just not how I was expecting him to be re-revealed. That's fine. I'm totally fine with him being okay. But he's okay. And they're trying to call out for Luffy to hurry up to the ship, and Luffy's like, yeah, we're almost there. So the giants are starting to set their ships off to sail away as they're catching up. So you have Doll and Bluegrass, right? Yeah. Doll and Bluegrass starting to attack the giants to keep them at bay, to keep them from escaping. And so this starts like another scuffle and another fight, which I think this is the first time we've seen Doll fight, and she's got a really cool fighting style. I actually really like her moves. So the two vice admirals are fighting against the giants. Luffy notices that the boar isn't behind him anymore, finally. They're getting to the ship, and we cut to, of course, the four elders surrounding the Iron Giant, and one of them's like, wait, no, I recognize this guy. He's like, hey, that's the Iron Giant that attacked Marijoa 200 years ago. I'm certain of it. How old is he? How old are you people? Are y'all really like, how old are y'all? Do y'all like physically remember that, or is it just the previous elders told y'all? Like, how old are y'all? Because I'm starting to think that maybe Emu's not the only immortal, or it has to do with either their devil fruits or their, like, I don't know. But I'm starting to think the elders have been there for over 200 years. And then, of course, we get to where Vegapunk is starting to talk about the Will of D, and he gets cut off after he says, within you there is a what? A special power? A what? What is within them? I don't know. We don't know. We don't get an answer, and I am very salty about it. But the elders hit the giant, and it goes flying and tumbling, and the transmission gets cut off. And that's the end. I'm so salty. I'm so salty that we got cut off, because I mean, there's so many different things that he could have been trying to say. A what though? Like a power, a will, like a will of something, something that starts with a D, like a descendant, or you know, like a type of lineage, a something. But no, we don't get it. It's fine. I'm fine. I'm not. But that is the chapter. And now we wait till the next one. I don't know if there's a break. I don't think there's a break. It says that there's a new chapter coming in a week, so I don't think there's a break in this one. So maybe we'll get something explained to us next week. But until then, we wait. But thank you all for being so patient with me and understanding with all the stuff I've had going on. Thank you all for watching this video. I love you guys. I love the support that you always give me, and it means the world to me. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of these One Piece chapters down below in the comments. And other than that, I will see you next time, guys.